Hi, it's Emily Leiphart of Art from the Heart, and in this video I'm creating a Mama Elephant card using the Splendid stamp set and Pandamonium Creative Cuts. I'll be showing you how to combine two dies to create a single die. The Splendid stamp set has awesome sentiments, and they're big enough to take center stage on a card. I love it when sentiments are that big, since it means clean and simple cards can have a lot of impact. In a previous designer series, I joined the fox and monkey from Up and Away, but I didn't make a video. I ended up getting a lot of requests for a video on how I joined the two dies, so I'm showing you using the Pandamonium Creative Cuts. First, I'm going to create a card base by die cutting two scalloped femme frames dies, then a stitched rectangle in blue for the sky and one in green for the grassy hills. I'm arranging the landscape trio dies on the green panel along with the Pandamonium Creative Cuts to determine their placement on the panel. I hold up the stamp set to determine which sentiment looks best with my layout, and I decide to use Be Awesome every single day. This would make a great encouragement card for my son. After determining the size of the hills, I hold the die in place with masking tape and run it through my Big Shot. This first piece is the hill in the forefront, since it has the stitched lines on all four sides. The second piece will go on the background and doesn't need the stitching along the bottom, since it will be hidden by the front piece. I just use my paper trimmer to cut that piece to size. This is the fun part. It takes some practice, and since this is only my second time doing it, it takes some thought and finagling. First, take the dies of the two images you want to join together and play around with them to determine which parts are going to be attached. Since I'm using animals, it makes sense to join their paws together. I'm using both pieces of my broken plate. I'm trying to avoid cutting the paws that will be joined together, so I can't put the plate over that paw. I do want the plates to cover all the other areas of the die, though. I'm moving this plate because it's the smaller of the two, and I can be more specific with it, both on the die and in the direction it runs through the machine. Now I'm sliding the other piece in place and carefully pushing everything through the machine together. Here's what it looks like after the first run. The area where I need the baby panda's paw to join up with its mommy's paw hasn't been cut. Now I'm totally guessing here as to where the baby's paw ends and the mommy's paw begins. I honestly can't remember how I did it last time, but I do decide to stamp both pandas first so it's obvious where I need to make the next cut. I'm using VersaFine Onyx Black ink, which is the darkest, crispest black ink, and it's perfect for the pandas as well as sentiments. I make sure that there is equidistance between the panda's ears and their toes. This ensures that the dies don't overlap anywhere except where I want them to. In this case, they're only overlapping where I want them to be holding paws. Now that I know exactly where Mommy Panda is, I use masking tape to hold her die in place and prepare to run her through my Big Shot. Once again, I place my two plates so that they cover everything except where the two paws are joined. When that's done, I notice that I didn't cut enough of the baby panda, so I'm going to run its die back through and try to get close to the arm with the joined paw. If all else fails, I can use scissors or an X-Acto knife to finish the cut, but it's always better to have the dies do the work. I'm going to run this through twice, using the edge of the mommy panda's arm as a guide for the edge of the plate. The first pass will die cut the top part of the baby panda's arm, and the second pass will die cut below its arm. When this is done, only a teeny thread of cardstock holds the two pandas to the negative piece. I'm just going to take my scissors and trim that fuzzy little piece off the corner. Now it's perfect, as if there was one die for the two pandas together. Now I'm going to assemble the card, first by scoring the back of the card base. As I mentioned in a previous video, this provides a nice fold for the card to stand, and preserves the scalloped edge all the way around the card. Next, I adhere the sky and hills to the card base. The first two pieces are applied flat, and the front panel is popped up on foam tape, since I'll be doing the same with the pandas. Before I adhere the pandas, I'm going to stamp the sentiment. If I pop up the pandas first, then they'll interfere with my grid block and my stamping will be uneven. I'm leaving the pandas in their spot on the card to gauge the position of the sentiment. Again, I'm using VersaFine Onyx Black ink, and to ensure that the sentiment is straight, I hover it against the edge of the stitch panel and run it up to its final spot before pressing down. Since the pandas have their free paws up, I want to add some fun swirly stars. It's as if these were meant for dancing pandas. There's already too much black, so I'm going to use VersaFine's Smoky Gray ink. It's subtle and doesn't detract from the sentiment or the pandas, but still stands out as part of the design. Now I can adhere the pandas to the card with foam tape. I tuck the baby panda's heel behind the edge of the hill, but I put the mommy panda's heel in front. It's a little thing that adds a teeny bit more perspective and makes it look like the mommy panda is leading the baby panda over the hills. Looking at the card, I decided it needs some glitter, so I'm going to use my Wink of Stella marker to color in the stars. After the stars are done, I decide to glitter up the swirls too. Why not, right? Now my card is done. You can see the shimmer of the Wink of Stella on video, but it's much, much more sparkly in person, as I'm sure you know by now. If you don't have a Wink of Stella marker, I urge you to get one. It's one of the easiest and prettiest ways to dress up a card. Aren't those pandas so cute together? I really need to make more of these. Please refer to the supply links below if you're interested in any of the products I used in this video. You can also visit my blog for stills and more information about my cards. Thanks so much for watching.